once again, the scientists at Rocky Mountain Labs are being asked to participate in an emerging international health matter, in this instance, Zika virus. Zika virus is a member of one of what are called flaviviruses. And RML has had a superb program on other flaviviruses since about 2002, although we have not specifically worked yet have really active projects going on the Zika virus. The flaviviruses are most often transmitted to people by either ticks or by mosquitoes. And in this case, the Zika virus, like West Nile virus and yellow fever virus and dengue virus, is spread by mosquitoes. And one thing that I can tell your listeners is that I've been in contact with Greg Johnson, who's the entomologist at Montana State University, and Montana does not have the two mosquito species which have been implicated in transmitting Zika virus. These are what are called the Aedes mosquitoes. Now, there are parts of the United States where those mosquitoes do exist, but repeated surveys by Greg and the folks at Montana State University have not identified either of the two Aedes mosquitoes in the state of Montana.
Now, Marshall, why are people so afraid of this particular virus? I understand if left unchecked, it can cause some birth defects and some other things. And there's also, from what I understand, like almost all viruses, there's no cure.
This virus, the Zika virus, was originally identified almost by accident in Uganda back in the 1940s, and it's only with its emergence, very recent emergence in Latin America, that people have become concerned about it. Typically, it causes a very mild infectious disease, and they estimate that the vast majority of people that get infected don't even know they had it. And the people who are symptomatic with it, they have a fever, they might have some muscle aches and joint pains, and their eyes might get a little red for a day or two. The worry with this virus, particularly in the outbreak in Latin America, is that there is an association, and I want to stress that at this point it is still an association between Zika virus infection and some very, very serious and, frankly, disastrous birth defects in mothers that have, in infants born to mothers who have had the Zika virus infection. Now, the precise extent of that association and whether it's going to prove to be caused by the virus, I think has yet to be conclusively demonstrated, but it is certainly a cause for worry. And that's why the World Health Organization's, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and infectious disease specialists and epidemiologists around the world are so concerned about the emergence of this virus.
All right. Now, you had mentioned that we don't have those two mosquitoes here in Montana, but is it possible for someone to have visited a place like that and come home with it?
There have been a number of cases in the United States where people, where people returning from parts of the world where the virus is endemic have been diagnosed with the Zika virus. And somewhat surprisingly, so the answer is yes, there have been some cases in the United States. The primary way that this virus gets spread in almost all instances is from the bite of an infected mosquito. But from Dallas yesterday and in the last few days, and from a few other case reports, it seems that on what must be a relatively rare occasion, sexual partners of individuals with Zika virus may be able to transmit that to an uninfected partner. Again, the information on that is very, very preliminary, and those cases, are simply case reports, and those that remains an association, but it certainly is a cause for worry if this virus can be spread through sexual intercourse or sexual practices.
Wow. Okay. So your research going on there in Hamilton, how extensive is that? And obviously, you're working closely with the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta.
Well, I think our research programs here will build upon the expertise in flaviviruses in particular, and in the study of other mosquito-borne viruses that cause a different kind of disease. We have two very, very talented investigators, one Dr. Sonia Best and the other Dr. Karen Peterson, who are very, very experienced investigators when it comes to studying flaviviruses and other viruses spread by mosquitoes. And so what they are intending to do is to use some of the considerable expertise that they have developed in the study of Zika virus.